Okay, so let me ask you something straight. You keep hearing top 10% of India. In every news article, in every LinkedIn post, some person is saying, oh, the top 10% hold this much wealth, the rest are struggling. And you read it, you feel a tiny bit bad, you scroll away, and you forget it. But did you ever stop and actually ask, wait, who even is this top 10%? How much do they actually have? Am I in it? Is my neighbor Sharma uncle in it? And most importantly, is being in the top 10% actually enough to live a comfortable life in India in 2026? Because here's what nobody's telling you. The top 10% number is both more shocking and more depressing than you think. Shocking because the bar to enter is lower than you expect. Depressing because even after crossing it, most people are one medical emergency away from a crisis. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what the top 10% of India looks like in real money, real assets, what separates the truly comfortable from the ones just pretending, and one specific number that will completely change how you think about your own finances. Stay till the end. This one is different. My name is Rohan and I'm so obsessed with understanding where the average Indian actually stands financially that I've been going through survey data, RBI reports and income studies for the past 6 months like a madman. If you're someone who works hard, earns decently and still wonders, am I doing okay or am I behind? Then smash subscribe and drop a like if this video helps you figure that out. Alright, let's get into it. So first, let's just set the scene. India has roughly 1.4 billion people. When we say top 10%, we are talking about approximately 14 crore people. That's not a small group. That's more people than most countries in the entire world. So understand this. The top 10% of India is itself a massive, diverse population. It's not just businessmen in Mumbai or IT workers in Bengaluru. It includes government employees, doctors in Tier 2 cities, small business owners, teachers with land in their family name. It is a very wide group. Now the question is, what does it take to actually be in this group? Here's where it gets interesting. According to the Household Consumption Expenditure Survey, HCES for short, conducted by NSSO under MOSPI, whose data was released in 2024, covering the period August 2022 to July 2023, the entry threshold for the top 10% of Indian urban households by consumption, meaning how much you need to spend per person per month to even qualify, is approximately 11,084 rupees per person per month. That is the 90th percentile of urban spending. For a city family of 4, crossing that threshold means spending roughly 44,000 rupees a month as a household. Wait, that's it? Yes, in urban India, spending just 44,000 rupees a month as a family of 4 is enough to be at the entry point of the top 10% of urban spenders in this country. That is the minimum bar to get in, not what they typically spend on average, just the entry line. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rohan, my EMI itself is more than that. And that's exactly the point I want you to feel. Because 44,000 rupees in household spending in 2026 in any metro city is barely a middle-class life. But by the national data, that kind of spending puts you in the top tier of urban India. And this tells you one thing very clearly. India is not a rich country. The distance between the average and the top is enormous, and most of the country is surviving on far, far less than we think. Now, before we go further, quick question for you. Be honest. When you heard top 10% of India, what number did you imagine in your head? 1 lakh rupees per month household income? 2 lakh rupees? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious because the gap between what people imagine and what reality looks like, that's the whole point of this video. Okay. But spending is just one way to measure. Let's talk about income now because that's what most people compare. By income, the picture changes a little, but not as much as you hope. According to data from the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy and the World Inequality Lab's 2024 India study, the top 10% of Indian individual earners make roughly 25,000 to 30,000 rupees per month. Some household-level estimates from the EACPM's State of Inequality in India report put the top 10% household income threshold at around 55,000 to 70,000 rupees per month. Now, this is individual income. So, if you are a salaried person in a city earning 30,000 rupees a month or more, you are likely in the top 10% of individual earners in India. Let that sit with you. Because you might feel like 30,000 rupees is nothing. You might feel like you're just getting by. And in a city, you're right, 30,000 rupees barely covers rent, food and transport in Mumbai or Delhi. But across the full country, across villages, small towns, daily wage workers, farmers, 30,000 rupees is actually a lot of money. This is the trap, by the way. This is exactly where urban middle-class Indians feel perpetually poor even when they are by national standards actually quite well off. Your reference point is not the average Indian. Your reference point is your colleague who just bought a new car or your cousin who moved abroad. You're comparing yourself to the top 5% and feeling bad about not being in the top 1%. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't want more. You absolutely should. But knowing where you actually stand, that's the starting point.
Now let's talk about wealth. Because income is what you earn, wealth is what you keep. And this is where things get truly shocking. According to the World Inequality Lab's 2024 India study, one of the most thorough analyses of Indian wealth distribution ever done, covering data from 2022 to 23, the median adult in India holds wealth of about 4.3 lakh rupees. That is the middle point. Half of Indian adults have more than this, half have less. Total assets, land, gold, savings, everything, the median Indian adult holds 4.3 lakh rupees. That number should stop you cold. Now, what does the top 10% by wealth look like? According to the same World Inequality Lab study by researchers Bharti, Chancel, Piketty and Somanchi, the top 10% of Indians by wealth hold approximately 65% of all household wealth in the country. And to be in the top 10% by individual net worth, you need total assets of approximately 21 lakh rupees. 21 lakh rupees per adult individual. Now let me show you how quickly this becomes real. Say you're 35 years old. You have 5 lakh rupees in a fixed deposit. Your EPF balance is 4 lakh rupees. You have a 3 lakh rupees share in some ancestral land. Your wife has 3 lakh rupees worth of gold jewelry. That's already 15 lakh rupees between just those 4 things. Add even a modest two-wheeler, a small mutual fund or a slightly larger land share and you are at or above the 21 lakh rupees threshold that places you in the top 10% wealthiest adults in India. Does that feel surprising? It should. Because most people don't feel wealthy at all with 21 lakh rupees. And that's the whole point. The top 10% in India is not a group of comfortable, secure people. A huge portion of this group doesn't feel rich because in a city, 21 lakh rupees in total wealth is not security. It's barely a starting point. And this is something people completely miss. In India, a lot of wealth is sitting in illiquid assets, land, property, gold. People feel cash poor but asset rich and don't even realize it. The housewife whose in-laws have ancestral land worth 30 lakh rupees is technically wealthier than 90% of the country, but that land can't pay a hospital bill tonight. And that right there is the real danger zone. Because here's the thing about the top 10% in India. Even within this group, there are massive differences. Let me break this down simply because this is the part nobody talks about. Imagine the top 10% as a big building with 10 floors. The people on floor 1, they just made it in. They earn about 30,000 rupees a month. They have maybe 15 to 25 lakh rupees in total assets, mostly illiquid, mostly land or gold. Liquid savings, maybe 2 to 3 lakh rupees. They are in the top 10% by the numbers, but they are one job loss away from real trouble. One major illness in the family and they are taking personal loans at 20% interest. Now go up to floor 5. This person earns 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees a month, they own a decent flat, they have 15 to 20 lakh rupees in savings and investments they can actually access. They have a term insurance policy. They feel a bit of security. Not a lot, but a bit. Then go all the way to floor 9 and 10. These are the people earning 3 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees per month and above. They have diversified assets, mutual funds, real estate, maybe a business. They can survive an emergency without touching their investments. Their money is working for them even when they sleep. The problem is, floors 1 to 4, that's easily 60 to 70% of the top 10% group itself. Most people who qualify as top 10% are closer to the bottom of that group than the top, and they don't know it. They've crossed the threshold, but they haven't built real security. There's a big difference between those two things. Look, I'm not telling this to make you feel bad. I'm telling this so you can make a simple, honest audit of where you actually stand, not where you appear to stand. Now, let me give you the number that will actually tell you if you're truly financially stable, not just top 10% by a survey, but actually secure. It's called your net investable wealth. Not your total assets, not your home value, just the money you could actually use in an emergency or put to work for you. Your savings, your mutual funds, your fixed deposits, your stocks, not your house, not your gold stuck in a locker, not ancestral land nobody is selling. In India, in 2026, if your net investable wealth is above 25 lakh rupees, you are genuinely in a comfortable position. If it's above 50 lakh rupees, you are doing very well. And if it's above 1 crore rupees, you are in the real top layer, close to the top 1 to 2%, and your money can generate income on its own without you working for it. But here's the painful reality. Most Indian households, even those earning 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees a month, have net investable wealth below 10 lakh rupees because they bought expensive flats on big EMIs, because they spent on weddings, because they didn't invest consistently, because they thought I'll start later. Let me put a real face on this. Think of Ramesh. He's 38 years old. He works in a private company in Pune, earns 90,000 rupees a month. His wife Neha works part-time, brings in 20,000 rupees. Combined, 1,10,000 rupees monthly household income. By any measure, by income, by spending, this is a top 10% household.
Now let's look at what actually happens every month. EMI on a 60 lakh rupees flat they bought in 2019? They took a 55 lakh rupees loan at 8.5% for 20 years, 50,000 rupees. Car loan EMI, 9,000 rupees. Groceries, school fees for 2 kids, electricity, petrol, phone bills, OTT subscriptions, another 30,000 rupees easily. Health insurance premium for the family, 2,500 rupees. And Ramesh's parents live separately. He sends them 3,000 rupees every month for medicines and small support. That's a total of 94,500 rupees going out every month. So their savings? About 15,000 to 17,000 rupees a month. They've been doing this for 3 years. Their total savings and investments? About 7 to 8 lakh rupees. Their home has value on paper. Maybe it's worth 75 lakh rupees now. But they still owe 50 lakh rupees on it. Net equity in the home? 25 lakh rupees. But they can't touch that. So in a real emergency, sudden job loss, a parent's cancer diagnosis, a major accident, Ramesh and Neha would struggle badly within 3 months, despite being top 10% earners, despite the flat, the car, the middle-class life. This is not a made-up story. This is the financial reality of lakhs of households in urban India right now. And nobody talks about it, because from outside, Ramesh looks fine. He has a flat, a car, takes a Goa holiday once a year, puts photos on Instagram. But inside, there's no real cushion. One bad month and the whole structure wobbles. Oh man. And this is not Ramesh's fault alone. The system is designed so that your income grows, your lifestyle grows with it, and somehow the gap between what you earn and what you keep stays the same. That's a whole other conversation. But today, let's fix what we can fix. So, what should you actually do with all of this? Let me give you 3 simple actions, not big complex strategies, just 3 things you can do this week. First, calculate your own net investable wealth today, right now. Take a piece of paper or open your phone's notes app, write down all the money you have access to in a genuine emergency. Your savings account balance, your fixed deposits, your mutual fund value, your PPF, your stocks. Don't include your home value. Don't include your car. Don't include your gold unless you're truly willing to sell it tomorrow. Add it all up. That number, whatever it is, that's your real financial floor. Now you know the truth. Second, look at your monthly cash flow. After all your EMIs and expenses, how much is actually free? If it's less than 20% of your income, you have an EMI problem, not an income problem. The goal in 2026 is to keep total EMIs, home, car, personal loan, everything below 40% of your take-home pay. If you're over that, no amount of investing will help until you fix that leak first.
Third, and this is very important, if you don't have a term life insurance policy yet, get one this week, not this month, this week. Here's how simple it is. A healthy 30-year-old non-smoker can get a 1 crore rupees cover for roughly 8,000 to 11,000 rupees a year. That's about 700 to 900 rupees a month from insurers like LIC, HDFC Life or ICICI Prudential. That's the price of 2 decent restaurant dinners every month, except it protects your entire family's financial life if something happens to you. Think of it like this. Term insurance is the helmet you wear on a bike. You don't plan to crash, but if it happens, that one helmet saves everything. Most people in the top 10% by income still don't have this basic protection in place. Please be smarter than that. One more thing I want you to think about before you close this video. The reason the top 10% threshold feels so low, why 21 lakh rupees in total wealth or 30,000 rupees a month in income gets you there, is because India's wealth is terrifyingly concentrated at the very top. According to the World Inequality Lab's 2024 India paper, the top 1% of Indians hold over 40% of all national wealth. The top 1% alone holds more wealth than the bottom 70% of the country put together. Let that land for a second. The distance between the top 10% and the top 1% is enormous. And the distance between the top 1% and the top 0.1%, the Ambanis and Adanis of the world, is bigger still. This means the real game is not just entering the top 10%. The real game is building your investable wealth over years so that money starts earning money and you slowly, surely climb those floors. From floor 1 to floor 5, from floor 5 to floor 8. That's how real financial security is built. Not overnight, not through one big lucky break, but through consistent, boring, patient wealth building over a decade or two. And for that, you need to understand not just how much you earn, but how your money behaves, where it leaks, and why the habits you have right now might be working against you more than you realize. If that sounds like something you want to dig into, I've done a deep video on exactly that. Why millennials and Gen Z in India are struggling to get ahead even with decent incomes, and what the system actually looks like from the inside. Watch that next. The link is right here. Stay sharp. See you in the next one.